Hello, hello. Welcome to round 3 of MCP March Madness. As a quick recap, we are running a month-long tournament, putting the best of API-driven companies head-to-head, leveraging MCP servers to see how well agents can take action against those APIs and carry out tasks that leverage those APIs in interesting ways. We have the platform mcp.run that we're using to host these different MCP servers, to integrate them into tasks, and to execute those tasks to evaluate the effectiveness and availability of the APIs. And in rounds 1 and 2, we saw Supabase versus Neon. Supabase won that round, and we were able to create a whole database schema just by explaining the requirements of how we wanted to use this database and some of the kinds of tables that we would need to represent inside that database schema. In round 2, we saw that resend and loops were put head to head to try to create contacts in certain audiences and then send emails to those audiences. And round 3, we are going to put Perplexity up against Brave Search. If you don't know, these are both really cool search products that provide an API. Perplexity, does kind of its own approach to scouring sources and pulling together aggregate information. And Brave Search is a little bit more like a kind of traditional Google-style search product. And today we're going to see who of these two puts the search results back together in interesting and useful ways based on a task that we have for it to carry out, which is here. So in round 3, we're going to be content sourcing for a newsletter. The common thread here across all these different rounds have been kind of creating audiences for newsletter subscriptions, for sending the emails to these newsletters and creating the kind of operating system layer for a newsletter publishing application. And then finally in round 3, we're going to actually be finding the information that we want to put into these newsletters, kind of rolling up news and highlights from the recent past to kind of combine and aggregate into a newsletter to send out to its subscribers. So this particular task at hand is to find the latest, most interesting and important news for people who have subscribed to our newsletter, where we're going to replace this kind of dynamic variable with the topic that the newsletter is all about. And we're instructing the prompt to search the web for news, to do lots of searches for anything that's newly encountered, to try to find additional things to look up. Maybe we start with the particular topic, but then we realize there are additional terms or people or events that are associated. We could do sub searches for those things to link together other more expansive results. We tell it to go, pretty in depth and to add some of its own intelligent researched prose around the content that it finds. So not just to drop a link in a newsletter, but to also add a little bit of its own, ideas and thoughts and opinion about the article or link or whatever it finds. And then lastly, we want it to output these links and the content it finds in a kind of a markdown format. And that way that I'll just render that markdown in a renderer so we can kind of look at what this potential newsletter would look like and do a little bit of like a vibes-based evaluation on which one did a better job. And then we'll follow up with a real eval using our MCPX eval framework to see which MCP servlet did a better job. So I'm going to run this one. We're going to say that the topic in this case is AI2 on the nose. Well, whatever. Let's do AI agents again. I think we did that in a previous. So we're going to run this task. And again, this is using Perplexity. And we're going to see how well this one does. And I will fast forward the recording so you're going to see it jump back to the end. It should take only a few minutes, but why make you wait? Right. The task is completed. We can see it's done. It ran for about 4 minutes, made 7 tool calls, and compiled this output from the web, trying to look up new information. So I'm going to just copy this into my markdown renderer. So we have a reference point. And this is kind of what the newsletter could look like that is generated from the Perplexity search. Very cool. In previous rounds, I did 2 different videos, one per each task with the different API and MCP servlet. And this one, I'm just going to do them in the same video because why not? So let's go back, and instead of running this with Perplexity, we have a different task here that's using the Brave servlet and the exact same prompt. And we will run this also with AI agents. Again, this is using Brave search, and we're going to see how this one performs. And the task is starting. And again, I will kind of jump to the task finishing versus having us all sit here and wait for a few minutes for it to be done. And we're back. It looks like the Brave search ran quite a bit faster. This one only took about 2 minutes and made 5 tool calls. And we're just going to copy the output and put it in our markdown renderer again, just to kind of take a look side by side at these different results. So here's the Brave results. Let's see if we have any of the same content here. Okay, so we're talking about NVIDIA agent infrastructure, enterprise AI adoption, Zoom AI companions, some developer tools, OpenAI agents SDK. Yep, that just came out. And more industry standards, some stuff from NIST. Very cool. I'd read it. This one has more from IBM, multi-agent systems, also developer platforms, also talking about the agent SDK from OpenAI, other agent frameworks. Lots to say about AI agents. Okay, interesting. It's honestly hard to say which one did better. I think they both did a great job. I think we're going to have to actually move to the eval to determine which one we claim as the winner here. So more on that in the article where this video is embedded. Go check it out, and we will see who we declare victorious. Bye.